Ali Pali, Blackpool's Winter Gardens, Barnsley Metrodome. All three of these venues are iconic darting locations. But what do they all have in common? That's right. They are all indoors. That's because darts is an indoor sport. I mean, the players would get quite angry if random gusts of wind ruined their shots. Therefore, professional darts is played indoors, as any draft, breeze or wind can annoy the players greatly. This annoyance was seen in the dramatic semi-final of the 2012 World Championship, where Adrian Lewis and James Wade both left the stage during the game due to a breeze. The players went off of the stage for 20 minutes while the breeze was stopped, and play then continued with Lewis 2-0 down. Lewis went on to win the game 6-5 in one of the most dramatic games ever, which saw the session finish at around 1:30 a.m. The logical decision would be to make sure that this never happens again by making sure that things like aircon aren't near the stage. But just a year after this incident, the PDC began hosting the World Series of Darts, which was a new series of events that would be held in a variety of locations around the world, many of which had never hosted a televised PDC event. This year's World Series featured 7 events, but back in 2013 only 2 tournaments were held. The Sydney Darts Masters was held in the Big Top at Luna Park, which was quite a strange venue. However, this tournament was the second event of the year. The first was the Dubai Darts Masters, which was the first PDC event held in the United Arab Emirates. The PDC had to find a venue, and preferably one that was indoors, that could host a televised event. The United Arab Emirates currently has just 3 indoor arenas: Coca-Cola Arena, which opened in 2019, Etihad Arena, which opened in 2021, and the Hamdan Sports Complex, which is a swimming venue. Now, considering the tournament was to be held in 2013, the PDC had a problem. The PDC eventually selected a venue with this setup, similar to a Euro Tour event. But wait. What's that? Yes, that is the Sky. The PDC chose to hold the event at the outdoor Dubai duty-free tennis stadium, which also hosts the Dubai Tennis Championship, an ATP Tour 500 event which has been won by each of tennis's big 4. To attempt to combat the effects of wind, the tournament, which was the first open-air event put on by the PDC, was held on a specially built outdoor stage which featured a canopy. This canopy was designed to reduce airflow. However, it was impossible to block out all wind, so the players knew it would be a tricky event with a new environment to adjust to. Ahead of the tournament, 16-time world champion Phil Taylor stated that he had never played or practiced outside, and that he was more worried about the wind rather than the heat. He said that he had butterflies ahead of the event. Taylor predicted that if it was very windy, Van Gerwen would play the best, as he has a firm throwing style, and that he and Raymond van Barneveld would play the worst due to their softer style. Taylor's predictions were right, as he was beaten by Andy Hamilton in the first round, whilst Van Barneveld posted the lowest average of the round and Van Gerwen set the highest. After being knocked out, Taylor stated that the darts were flying everywhere, but he still praised the event. The 2 days of the 2013 event had less wind interference than expected, but it was clear that Van Barneveld in particular was getting annoyed at random gusts of wind during his games. During his semi-final against James Wade, Barney paused for around 20 seconds to allow a breeze to pass before attempting an 83 checkout. However, he then missed the treble 17 by a long way and then missed the big number. Despite these issues, it was announced on commentary during this game that the tournament would return in 2014. Van Gerwen won the 2013 event, beating Van Barneveld in the final. Despite the wind issues, the event was deemed to be a success, attracting a fairly large crowd. Van Gerwen won the 2014 event, beating Peter Wright in the final. The 2014 tournament was more affected by the heat than the wind, with temperatures reaching over 100 degrees Fahrenheit as the tournament was held a week later in the year. Adrian Lewis stated that it was so hot that his hands were sweaty and he couldn't grip the barrels of his darts, so he instead had to hold and throw them by the flights. Dave Chisnall also complained about the heat. In this second year, Van Barneveld chose to use larger flights to stabilize his darts in the air. Van Gerwen won the event for a third time in 2015, the year in which Gary Anderson made his Dubai debut. Anderson blamed the wind for his loss to Phil Taylor, as Taylor uses heavier darts. Lewis used the same excuse after his loss to MVG. Anderson won the event in 2016 after switching to darts which were 2 grams heavier to help keep them straight. It was this 2016 event which saw the match most affected by the wind, a quarter-final clash between Lewis and Chisnall. Chisnall stated that the players knew it would be bad as they could see the curtains moving due to a breeze when they walked on. Both players joked about the wind during the practice darts, and Chisnall stated that it was like they were playing in a pub. Lewis averaged just 79 and lost 10-1. Anderson won the event for the second time in 2017, a year which was fairly unaffected by the wind, as many of the players had adapted to the conditions over the years. This shows in the fact that the final had a combined average of 221.34, the highest in any televised PDC final. Anderson averaged 110.88, hit 12 180s and hit 50% of his doubles during this final, which I think is one of the most underrated games ever. The event wasn't held for the first time in 5 years in 2018, as the dates clashed with Ramadan. However, the event hasn't been held since. The organizers stated that they weren't making enough money from an event which was expensive to put on for them. However, the World Series will return to the Middle East in 2023, with the first ever Bahrain Darts Masters set to be held at an indoor dome within the Bahrain International Circuit Complex. Whilst it was interesting to watch, I don't think outdoor PDC darts has a future. The closest they have got since was at the 2018 German Darts Masters, which was hosted in the Veltins Arena football stadium. However, this stadium has a retractable roof. If the PDC ever return to the UAE, they will most likely use the Coca-Cola Arena, which was suggested to the PDC by the local organizers after the 2019 event was cancelled. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.